Morning, folks. Welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange East End. What am I thinking? I'm thinking Wednesday. That's the wrong day. We're on Monday. Buzz Corners edition. Folks, welcome. And you know what? I'm going to share a screen. We're going to talk about the what's happening in the Phoenix space. And hopefully, if you're in the Ottawa Valley, enjoy the rain and enjoy the warm weather. I understand 17 degrees Celsius is going to be the high for today. So, who knows what you're going to do with your snow tires? And maybe Sam will cover that in a second. In the meantime, member of the week is Dr. Shane Bayless. And if you don't know what Shane does, he makes it feel so good that you're in pain. That sounds wrong, but you know what? He does physio, chiro, and good stuff like that. Here's his e-card. Just click that button. You can get a hold of him. You can hear the story from Shane directly and how he provides different services for your needs, whether you're into sports or otherwise. To join us here today, click on this red button. This is Monday morning, 8 to 9, Bell's Corners, Eastern. Wednesday morning, that's the East End group. Same channel, except Wednesday, 8 to 9. Thursday morning, same thing. That's the South End group. On April 28th is 7 p.m. is the After Hours group, and that's where we have accountability sessions to help you keep on target with your task. And Penny Lee Prevost hosts that. Upcoming member events, or you click here to find out what's going on in that space. Canada Growth Network is meeting today at 1 p.m. Eastern, free to attend. East Trade Winds is meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. In fact, Josh Lamb is speaking at that event. East End at Hive is meeting in person on April 22nd. It'll also be available on Zoom. It starts at 7:30 a.m. April 30th, South End is meeting at the River Lounge at 7:30 a.m., both in person and live. If you hear someone talking today and you want to know more about them, you want to find out how to get a hold of them, it could be Kelly about a house, it could be Josh about a computer. Click here, the QR directory for all members, and drill into the space. Speaking of QR codes, you'll see one over my shoulder. That helps people, and as part of the services of being a Phoenix member, you have access to services as such that help people find you easier, right? Find out more about what you do, whether it's a link to your website, your YouTube channel, infomercials, any of that good information. Oh, look at that. Amount of business done between members since 2016. Over $5 million worth of business just between members. Year to date, referrals has been $18,878. This reminds me, if you have just, if you're a Phoenix member, send your stats into Tony so he can compile and update this information for everybody. And I'm going to stop share and we're going to go over to words of wisdom from Dashcam Sam. And good morning, Jacqueline. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Just if you wouldn't mind, raise your hands if you have a habit of when you go to the gas station, you fill up your car with gasoline and you top it off just to kind of get to an even number or something lighter to fill it up. Anybody doing that? Tony raised his hand. Oh, then Kat raised her hand. Okay, Jacqueline. Uh, you people better stop doing that. What happens, unfortunately, to newer vehicles today, the evap system is connected to that hose, that pipe basically that brings in the fuel into your car. And what can happen is that the fuel, actually liquid fuel, can get into the evap system, which is not supposed to have fuel in it. It's supposed to have just fumes, not fuel. So you don't want gasoline getting in there. It can ruin the evap system in your car, cost you anywhere between a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 to repair. So what I would recommend, and in fact, I can give you another reason why in a minute, is when you fill up your car, put the fuel in at high speed if you can, if it allows your car to do it at high speed. And once it clicks, when the pump clicks off, stop there. Even if it's half a cent, three-quarters of a cent, whatever, stop there. That will prevent the damage to your evap system. In another life, I also happen to know because I worked with these people before. The people that manufacture gas pumps, they call them gas dispensers technically. They actually give you a little bit more fuel at full speed than they do at low speed. So if you're going to save any money when it comes to the gas pump, you're better off doing it at fast speed than slow speed. There you go, some quick tips for you when it comes to filling up your car, and hopefully that'll save you some money in the long run. Back to you, Bernie.
Sam, thank you so much. And it's awesome to have that information shared because everybody likes topping it up so they get that extra few kilometers that left. In LinkedIn Live is in the chat. You'll have the link to posting your contact details on LinkedIn. Now we'll do a round robin. We will, because Carolee might have to leave soon. Carolee, tell us what's happening in your space.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Hopefully, it's been a few weeks since I've been around with our break over Easter, and a few weeks before that, I was on holiday. So again, nice to be back. With that being said, it's a busy time of the year, as always, for us here at the Canada Food Cupboard. We actually had the privilege last week. I just wanted to share this exciting news, but on Thursday, April the 9th, the Ottawa Senators Community Foundation invited many charities across our city. They supported 40 charities in the Ottawa area, and we were all invited to the Ottawa Senators game versus Florida. And during the first TV timeout during the first period, they presented all 40 charities with lovely donations. That evening, they gave out $2.5 million to 40 different charities. And we were recipients of a donation of $5,000. So we were really excited for that. So that's some exciting news for us. And we've got lots of events coming up. One is coming up actually, is taking place all this week at Movati Fitness. We're partnering with the location here in Canada, doing a food drive for us. And this coming weekend, we've been invited to the Canada Seniors Council Marketplace. I don't know if anyone attends those events, but it's at the Senior Center on Campo Drive here in Canada during the afternoon. Lots of different vendors. And the Canada Food Cupboard are participating, and we're collecting donations at that event. So again, it's great to be part of our local community and getting out there, sharing the word of the great work that we do. And thank you all as well for sharing our work with your networks, and wishing everybody a great week. So any questions, never hesitate to reach out or visit us at the canadafoodcupboard.ca. Thank you.
Carolee, thank you. And next quick promo. It's about the Easter egg wins for tomorrow. The link to reach the event is right there. You can hear Josh a second time if you like. Kelly, what's up, my dear?
What's up, sunshines? Tony. Yes, the sunshiniest. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hosting this. My name is Kelly Harrigan. I'm a Forest Hill real estate agent. I work across Ottawa and Toronto. And I take a very integrated, very hands-on approach with my clients. Buying and selling is my jam. From initial planning to preparation to open houses, photography, all of the service professionals that you may need, I'm there. I'm there with you. I'm helping you every step of the way. I'm focused on delivering a really high level of client satisfaction, balanced with my approach, which is very data-driven, making sure that we get expert and accurate data in order to support the decision making for your listing price or your buy. We don't go in alone, we go in together with me, and I've got you every step of the way. One very, very recent success, my very thorough method was helpful with my most recent sale, 3 Mannington Court. It was on the market for 2 days. 2 days, offer, sold. Now firm. Took a few days to get firm. Of course, the buyers had to do their due diligence, which makes good sense. But yeah, that is a very, very happy client of mine. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. I welcome your referrals, and I freely give referrals as well. So there's no such thing as a silly question. Reach out. Don't be shy.
Kelly, thank you so much. Any BAMs or referrals in the last week or so?
Yes, indeed. I've had bands with Catherine as well as with Shane, and thank you for the reminder to get my figures in. I've used Shane Bialis' services a couple of times, so I need to crunch some numbers and send them in, I guess, to Tony.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Will do.
excellent. And next quick prompt is about Kat. She helps promote social media content. And if you have something you want to promote it through the Phoenix channels, reach out to Kat. I'm going to go next to Josh and then Jacqueline.
Good morning, folks. I'm Josh Lamb. My company is Sterling Grace Tech. We are your one-stop shop for your IT needs in Eastern Ontario and throughout Canada, really. Half of what we do is managed services, which is anything from solopreneurs who need time and material support, and they have issues like my printer won't work, or Excel won't do the thing I expect it to do, or my computer will work, and now what next? All the way up to servers for big businesses, disaster recovery, maintenance, management, security, cybersecurity, all that good stuff. The other half of what we do is custom software design, and that is with web technologies. And so that starts with a brochure-based website. It can include e-commerce websites, and then it can include integration. So we're talking about you have a system or systems that don't talk to each other, and you'd like to automate their communication between so that you can eliminate human error, so that you can scale. And then going all the way up to full line of business software suites that can manage your entire business process, from the order coming in to delivery of the service to your client, and an excellent raving fan is created because you deliver consistently every time. So we know how to take your processes, to take a look at them, and to evaluate what can be automated, what can save you money. We use AI for some of that too. We do integrations primarily with ChatGPT, and yeah, we can come in and take a look at what you do. We can get your network healthy, from the state of being maybe insecure, maybe being a whole bunch of separate computers that don't really talk to each other, that are all kind of independently managed. Get them all under a single umbrella, get them all consistent, get yourself into the best possible state you can be from a cybersecurity perspective. And then once we're done getting your network healthy, we can evaluate your integration state and look at ways to automate, to save you money, to help you scale, and to help your team spend more time building relationships and making sales and delivering to happy customers than filling out TPS reports. So if you want to know how to make your tech stop giving you headaches and start making you money, give me a call. I'm Josh Lamb. Sterling Grace Tech is my company. Thank you.
Any BAMs or referrals, Josh?
Not this week. Big project this past week, and I was driving all over. It was up in Tweed, and it was quite the little trip. So yeah, maybe next week.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. For today at 1 p.m., if you're interested, free to attend, is Vanessa Burns, and she handles grants and getting businesses lined up to receive money. Come on in and attend. She's out in the East Coast. Hey, Jacqueline, over to you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I know you're appreciating. I don't know if you've got it. I have a little bit of rain. It's a little bit chilly, and I did take a long, deep breath. I did lift my shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and I stuck my hands out to feel the water on my hands because that's all about nourishing, and that's my job as a mortgage consultant. My position allows me to suggest, to offer, to explain things that you may not have thought of when you're taking or considering um, down downsizing, or perhaps taking a look at your credit, taking a look at purchasing, because now might be the time to purchase a real estate property from perhaps your friendly neighborhood realtor. I'm all about mortgage strategies when you're looking for your mortgage money. I am your mortgage honey. And I had a great BAM on behalf of my grandson with Susan Epps. She's going to provide me with Melaleuca product that's going to help make his life a lot easier. Again, what I do as a mortgage consultant, an agent, Susan's going to help me do for my grandson. So have a groovy day.
Thanks, Sam. It's either that or you're pointing my left ear's got something weird on it. Um, Podcast quarterly meetup and mastermind on April 29th, 11 to 1. Podcasters and guests content. Link is there. And who haven't we had chat yet? Well, you know what? I think Sam's saying pick me, and then we'll go to Kat. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you again, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. My contact information is now in the chat. Well, it's time for putting on those summer tires. If you haven't booked your time to do that, I highly suggest you do because, well, people like me are getting busy trying to fit you in. I highly recommend you don't sit in line in one of those places that force you to do that for hours and hours, or book a time at one of these places that make you sit in their lobby for hours and hours, or maybe leave your car overnight. I usually do it within an hour and a half, and I include a free brake inspection while you're here. So if you're interested in something like that, please give me a call or text me. It works out quite fine for me. Let's see here. Besides doing that, I do minor repairs in cars, oil changes, brake jobs, things like that. And let's see, spams wise, Steve Brennickmeyer was here last week. I put his summer tires on for him and did a free and brake inspection, which turned out quite well. And Q called me this morning and booked a time for me to do her summer tires later this week. That's it for me, Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a lot of things other besides that, like tires.
Sam, thank you so much. And Kat, over to you, man.
Hi everyone. I wanted to share a quick update on behalf of Penny Lee. So she's an independent stylist with the company She's Got Legs, for those of you who don't know. So She's Got Legs, they're known for their comfortable clothing for the men, women, and children. So this is things like their leggings, denim tops, and everyday kind of wear. So the company that she works for is going to be closing down on the 31st of May. So they've currently got a site-wide offer of a 20% off all of their products. So now is your opportunity to go and stock up on any kind of favorites that you like. So like if you're a leggings wearer, tops wearer, shirt wearer, whatever, I would go onto the website. I'm going to drop a link in the chat and you can go and get 20% off these products. But I'm going to say now that all the sales are final. So if you buy it and you don't like it or it doesn't fit, that's kind of tough. There's nothing I can do about it. So anybody that buys as well will be entered into Penny Lee's hostess offers, which means you'll be able to get some potential free gift as part of purchasing from her. So if you have any further questions, please contact Penny Lee directly rather than me, because she knows more about her stuff than I do. And other than that, have a fantastic day. Thank you.
Kat, thank you so much. Any BAMs or referrals you want to talk about?
I don't think specifically. I talk to people all the time, but I don't think specifically. No.
No problem. All right, thank you. Another person that can be here in your stead is Mike Wazowski. Reach out to him if the calendar aligns. There you go. You have a speaking buddy. For myself, my name is Bernie, and I think everybody knows who I am. But what do I do? I do the introductions, I do the connections between businesses, run a podcast, and launched a blog process too, where the podcasts, both from Canada Growth Network, East Trade Winds, and Knack for Business, all get compiled into one spot. And if you go to the knackforbusiness.com website, there's a little chat bot in the bottom right. You can use it to search out any of the most current editions. And with that, I'm going to swing the mic over to Mr. Tony Jennis.
Thank you very much, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I am the spirit guy of the group. And today I want to talk a little bit about crystals. One of the things that people ask about is how can a rock, they look at it as rocks. But most of the ways that stones are made are either something from above, like river stones, and they have a quality in itself, but something that is mined, like amethyst or hematite. It's a certain way that various rocks formation, because they all used to be molten rock from either lava or from the different ways that the rocks are created. When they find a special, like one of the least ones that you could find are things like moldavite. It's a very rare stone, and it's those kinds of stones are from meteorites. Many millions of years ago, when a meteorite hit the Earth, it hit the Earth so hard that it actually tilted. You could only imagine the devastation then. We weren't here then, thank God, but it was those kinds of things that comes from outside of the Earth that comes in, that was very from other planets and other meteorites. But those kinds of things like moldavite and things like that, they are not from this Earth, so they're so rare that they get quite expensive. But what it does is incredible, because it brings the energy from where it came from over to this planet. If that planet had a large degree of forgiveness, lots of love, lots of transformation, when you are holding on to it, you're kind of receiving that energy in different ways, and it's so powerful that the aura that you project, it actually absorbs and tries to go with it. It's just like anything. Recently we did Easter eggs, and we colored them with dye. And although the eggs on the outside were pink or blue or whatever, yellow, when you open up the egg, the inside had a little bit of that color too. It says, how does it get in? Well, it's a little bit like that for us. When you get something on the outside, some of it permeates and then actually goes in. And that's what our energies do. We absorb our environment around us. We can put water on our skin and it just evaporates. It doesn't evaporate, it actually absorbs into our skin. And that's from a physical perspective. But when we have water that is from, let's say, the Mediterranean, we react differently. This is why when people are sunbathing in, let's say, I just had a couple come back from Spain, and they had such an amazing time there. They were swimming all the time in that water, and it's different, even though it's still from still water. It's because of the surrounding. The water reacts very differently than if you went to the beach here at Britannia in Ottawa. Not only is the quality of the water different, but the makeup is different. So when people are swimming in that, your skin is absorbing all of that. And so where does all this come into play with crystals? Well, when you have a piece of crystal in your pocket, like I always do, one of the things that I'm always looking at, because we're about to get a house, and we've got Kelly looking for us, and down the road we're going to need some resources. So I have things like citrine, these little rocks. I don't know if you see this. Anyway, it's about this big, okay? And I have 4 little rocks on my left pocket and 4 on my right. What does that mean? Well, these stones, first of all, they attract wealth. They attract all kinds of things regarding money. And it isn't because that we're looking for money. It's just that there's a purpose for it. The money itself doesn't really mean much. Spirit has very little regard for what money is. But what you do to create that, if you can bring it into something to do with humanity. So we're looking at getting a place that will be able to house a complete crystal section and be able to bring in people and tune people in that same place. And so it's going to be used as a mecca for people to become enlightened. So it gives the money a different purpose and a different reason for it to come into your experience. So if you can tie it in somehow with other people, then it's much more powerful. It's not just accumulation of money, which has no value whatsoever to energy. But when you have 4 little pieces of citrine on one side and 4 on the other, the left side represents receiving. The right side represents giving. So we want to create that circuit. In other words, anything that comes in is more than happy to go out, knowing that more is going to come in. It's like breathing. You can take a deep breath now, but we don't stress over our next breath because we know it's there. We know that if we take a breath and you know that there's not much oxygen, you're going to hoard, or you're going to try to limit the way you're going to breathe. But that's not an issue. If you know there's lots of oxygen, then you just breathe normally. You breathe in, you breathe out, and they're the same. In other words, anything that's coming in, you're going to breathe out the same thing. The great part of all this is what we breathe in helps us, nurtures us. And what we breathe out, the trees use. So we're helping things in our carbon dioxide, because trees live because of the carbon dioxide. So when we look at things regarding crystals, something that comes into your experience, whether you have a crystal as a little stones like I have, or you could use it as a bracelet, necklace, something that touches your skin, that is actually very powerful in this sense, and everything has a meaning. Everything has a reason for being there. I got a call from a client that they bought a bracelet about a month and a half ago, and they were going through their looking for some document in a room, and their bracelet got caught on something, and the bracelet went flying. In a bracelet, there's got to be close to 25 beads all around, something like this. This is a little larger. These are the 12 mil. These are much larger. These are for guys and stuff. But when you have it as much smaller, like something like this, okay, you could have about 15, 20, depending on the size, 25 beads. They couldn't find not even one. They couldn't find even one. And they looked in the air ducts, they looked under, they couldn't even find one bead. So what does that mean? It means you're done with that particular intention of what you got it in the first place. So in their case, they wanted to attract romance. So they got rose quartz, and there was a couple of other ones, and I'll show you how you can find all of that. So when the reason of something that you're wearing is to attract something, and they did find this person about 2 or 3 weeks later, and they've been dating, and things are going very, very well. So the intention has been fulfilled. So this is how the crystals will leave you, in the sense that if you want to wear it, hey, I really like it. It's nice and pink, or it has a nice glow. I'm going to just keep wearing it. Well, it's not like jewelry. Like you could, just wear a gold chain, or you could just wear it, because that doesn't have the same intention. You could wear that forever, and it doesn't have any sort of meaning other than aesthetic. It just looks nice, right? So when you're dealing with crystals, crystals have an intelligence. They know why they're coming to you. If it's coming to you to manifest something, like we're trying to manifest a home, for mom and some other things that you want to get done, and it's all done through a completely different thing. So in other words, the house will eventually choose us. It's not me choosing it. And so sometimes for a realtor, it's very frustrating, because for a realtor to say, well, what about this? I said, well, I don't know yet, because I'm not getting the vibe. And many realtors won't know that. That's why when we choose something, we have to choose a realtor that is also connected. So this is why we sort of chose Kelly to do this one. Other realtors have other, but Kelly's name kept coming up. So Spirit wanted Kelly to be part of this, so I just sort of follow. All right. So in doing that, crystals are this great thing that we can use. Now, I'll show you a couple of ones. One of the biggest ones that we're being asked for now is anything to do with the heart. How do I get my heart activated? Like if you have your heart in something, you want to be a musician, but your job, you need that, but the musician doesn't pay very much. There's a lot of musicians right now starving. They're very, very good, but they're just not at that point where they're getting gigs all the time. So they're saying, well, I'm not really got my heart into playing anymore because it's not paying the bills. I says, no, don't look at it that way. First of all, you want to get your heart activated so that it will be popular enough to you to be able to keep it going. So I would recommend something like this. Now, this is a big one. I do have this in bracelets as well. But sometimes people will say, I need something big, something I can have beside my bedside table, or something that I could use in my pocket. I do have smaller ones, little pieces. That way they can go in your pocket and stuff like that. But malachite is a great one for connecting to the heart. The reason this is so prevalent is because it's so powerful and it's heart driven. Anything to do with your heart. You got your heart in a profession, you've got your heart in another person or somebody that you want to spend your life with. You've got your heart in something. Have you ever heard where, yeah, I really wanted to do that, but I just didn't have my heart into it, right? We hear that all the time. And that's why we're not that great at whatever it is that you were talking about doing that. But if you really want to, let's say in this example, be a musician, and you want to be able to make enough so that you could do it on a regular basis, this is why you have to connect to that profession as to how they talk, how they act, in order for them to be able to be successful. Never have you ever heard a musician say, I have to go to work to be able to do this. What do they say? They say, I got to play. I just want to play. When they say, where are you playing? It is even in the profession, you have to connect to your heart to be able to do that. Malachite is very good for that. So having a little stone like this in your pocket, now because it is a left-right thing, you're not receiving love. You already have the love inside of you. Musicians, what they want to do is give love. So that goes on your right side. So you put it in your right pocket. Now, if you're left-handed, then it goes on the other side. So when I say right, I'm assuming that most people are right-handed in the sense that that is your giving side. That's the same hand you use to write a check. It's the same hand you use to count money. When Josh comes over and I'm giving him thousands of dollars when I'm buying a computer or I'm whatever, okay, I'll use my right hand to pay him cash, or I'll write a check with my right hand. And what do you use when you write a check? If you're left-handed, you're right. So that would be your giving hand, okay? So that's the side that you use because you want to be able to give music to other people. So it depends on the profession. Someone like Kat, she wants to be able to help people with their social media. So she's giving. So all of this is giving. However, it wouldn't be malachite that I would, prescribe in this case for someone like, let's say, like Kat, because she's looking for somebody that wants to do some creative things with their social media, because what they've done is not very good, and she wants to be more creative. I'm sure all the clients that Kat has, each one has a little different genre, has a little different way to be able to get the message across. Marketing is like that all over. So instead of malachite, I'd use something like carnelian. Carnelian is an orange stone, and that on her left side will bring in more creatively minded people, not so much but it's just that when Kat does things, we have to get people that are on the same page, that they want something creative but don't know what it is. So when she puts carnelian on her left side, that creativity will come through based on the person coming. I'd put a little bit of citrine in there too. So a little citrine to attract those people just because it's a client, and mix that in with carnelian, okay? Now, there's so many there's literally thousands of different crystals. There's about 250 main ones, and the rest are, they start to segment it very well. But there's so many that are out there, and which one do we choose? So over the last probably close to a month, I've been working on my website to be able to make it so much easier to choose a crystal based on what you want, what you need. And it's called Crystal Prescriptions. So we're going to go to that. I'm just going to share my screen, give you an idea of what the site looks like. I did this on my own, actually. And I hope you like it. So this is what it's about. It shows. Oh, that's my little bot from Raul. So personal prescription, what it is basically, it's an entire list of different kinds of things that would go on with a person, and then that would narrows it down from literally hundreds and hundreds of crystals down to about 5, 10, 15, maybe up to 20 different crystals that would do different things. All right, there one for depression. Okay, here's a list of all the ones that have something to do with depression. So let's say you choose a bloodstone in this one. So you just simply click that. This also works on your phone as well. So it'll describe a little bit of what the bloodstone is all about. Okay? In this way, you can read it over. It's basically used to enhance your immune system. And if you're depressed, and it has different qualities based on reducing stress and bring you a sense of inner peace. So and when you read it, you say, nah, I don't know if that's exactly what I'm looking for. So then you just basically go back to the thing that says, okay, the bloodstone, I got that. Okay, let's try amethyst. Amethyst is pretty popular. You could get those almost anywhere. There's amethyst in everything. It's very popular, and it's not that expensive because it is very plentiful. And basically, it talks a little bit about your spiritual properties. That includes increasing your intuition. When your intuition increases, if you are depressed, that will reduce. One of the problems that depression brings in is that it gives you a sense of, I don't know what to do. Or in other words, what do I do next? So you basically get stressed that, I don't know what to do. By this age, whatever age a person is, they'll say, well, I'm 45 years old. I should know this stuff. And you don't. And so this brings in that level of stress. So amethyst brings it in where it just calms everything down. It reduces anxiety because you have it close to you. And again, with amethyst, it doesn't matter on the left or the right. Whether you want something to come in or whether you're exuding confidence, it doesn't matter. So we could go either way. All right. I have some clients that say, well, Tony, I don't have any pockets. Where am I going to put some of this stuff? Like if you're jogging, or if you're in a point where there's nowhere to put a little stone, and you don't want to put on a necklace when you're in that position. So there's a couple of different ways. Some women will put it right into their bra, or you could actually slide it right into your socks. So just get a little piece, not a raw one. Like some of these are raw. I wouldn't use those. You use some very smoother ones that when you slide it into your socks, then it won't chafe, or it will not going to give you a skin irritation or something. And everything that has to do with amethyst is in some of the products that we have here. So you just choose, I'd like it as a bracelet, let's say, but this one has a combination of amethyst and lava. Okay, so what's that about? So let's say we want more information about that. So you can get in there. Okay, hang on. Let's see. On this one, we talk about, hang on, let's look at some of the lava products. And I'm going to just get some, let's go back here. There's some things that have lava in it, and I'm just going to see. Okay, that's something that I'm still going to be adding on there. But let's see, a lot of these products have lava in that as well. Let's see, tiger's eye. Sometimes there could be a lava section. Now, with tiger's eye, this is also a grounding crystal as well. With any lava that you use, okay, it's associated with strength, courage, grounding. It grounds you. So it's a combination of whatever crystal it is. When you add lava, okay, all of a sudden, whatever crystal it is, it roots it. It makes it so you're more grounded. You feel more stable, all right? Anything that you're going through challenging times, okay, that particular crystal will enhance the chakra, and it's usually in the root chakra, which is our grounding, anything that touches the ground. The root chakra is also part of our feet, And so it has that connection to the earth. This is why it's also good to ground whenever you can go barefoot. We're getting into warmer weather in the coming weeks and months, so it'll be great to be able to constantly do that. All right. And so it talks a little bit more about what the lava does. But what I really like about it is that it is a porous stone. You could put a drop of essential oils in lava and it absorbs it in. So it could be orange or peppermint or different signs, and you don't use a purity. You basically take a drop of, let's say it's peppermint because it has a pretty strong odor. You want to water it down. So put it in let's say a small cup of water, maybe half full. Put 1 drop, maybe 2 drops in the water, stir it around, and then take the water and put that in so that it's not going to be too strong. Some people will use something so pure is that they say, I can't, that's all that you're going to smell is that, and it's very potent. One of the things about you getting involved into essential oils is that you got to dilute it. That's the best way to be able to take care of that. But basically, you could go through all of the various things that a person is going through. If you're let's say, fearful, overcoming fears. This is very good if you're, let's say, public speaking and you're fearful of being in front of a group of people. Or if you're fearful going into, well, let's say, you are going to the point, I just had a client about last week that they were considering proposing to their girlfriend that they've been going with for about 4 years. But there's some apprehension. He says, I'm excited, but I'm experiencing some things of fear. So what I would do there, because it is a love-generated thing, something from the heart, and you have fear, this is where I would go to malachite, like we talked about. So you could go right to this particular stone, and you could read up on it and see if this is something closer to what you're looking for. You're facilitating your personal growth. The malachite's known as a stone of transformation. You might not need anything that strong, but it does have, it absorbs negative energies and negative thoughts, which are the same thing. Okay, and a lot of the things that people are talking about, they could say, oh, be careful because, 1 in every 2 marriages don't work. That's all you need is talk to a friend that's gone through 3 relationships. Never do that. Never look for advice from someone that you don't want to be. But it's amazing how many people say that, yeah, I heard that it's not good. Well, who'd you hear that from? And it's usually a source that has not worked. And their experience has nothing to do with you. Statistics are exactly that. They're just statistics, and they don't mean anything because it always comes down to how confident you are with that. When you talk to your heart, it will always say, yes, I'm ready. When you talk to your heart and it says, yeah, I think so, then that's a no, right? It always comes down to that. And malachite, in this particular case, will help you with that. It will actually tell you in your mind and make you feel like this is not the right time. Even though you feel love, the time to make that step. Okay, are you going to have a sense of inner peace and tranquility? I'm not really tranquil right now because I don't know. When people say, well, what does that mean? Well, it just means a no. Because if I wake you up at 3 a.m. and I ask you, and you say, absolutely, in other words, you are so convinced that this is the thing to do, that's what you want to go with, sort of thing. Okay? So this is a good way to be able to look at the different ways that we connect by going to this particular page. It's under it's actually right in our home base. So if you come onto our site at lovehigherself.com, the first thing here is you've got your crystal prescription that takes you right to the site. All right, and this way you can just go through and scroll through, and whichever one that you're looking for, something to enhance, like better sleep, you want to be able to attract love, you want to detox. There's all these things that we have done, and we broke it down for you so that we break it down to about the top 10 crystals from the hundreds that you could choose from. And then you could read up on those 10, bring it down to 3, and then you can choose one on your own. basically. Okay, there's forgiveness, there's stress, addictions. I had a person that was addicted to when they had COVID. They had wine all the time. Eventually, they got hooked on it, and then when COVID was pretty much done, it kept going, and it just had a really difficult time in getting that. So we gave her, in this case, it was lepidolite for this person. All right, when you kind of read up on that, this particular is a very specific stone. We went through several different ones, but this seemed to be the closest one for this person that we could go with. Placing most of your focus on your third eye. Addiction has nothing to do with third eye. It has to do with your survival chakra, which is root chakra. It's all about I need this to survive. But as soon as you move that up to your third eye, she says, yeah, that's the one. So it has a degree of third eye or intuition built into that. And along with the tuning and the crystal, she was off it in about, she texted me about 3 days later, and she says the need wasn't there anymore. And I haven't heard from her in months, and she still says hasn't had a drop since then. So when you look at it from again, it's not just one thing. You got to look at several things that you're doing. But crystals are a very good addition to the things that you could do. All right, and it even breaks it down. And if you're really into the energy, you'll know that there's 5 elements to us: earth, fire, water, wood, and metal. This is more applicable to people that are very connected to nature and things like that. And if you take, like, a good example is I have a client that is having some autoimmune problems, and this person is a metal person because of what he does. He was an ex-welder. He loves working with metal. Okay, and so what we prescribed was everything to do with water. The reason being is that fire melts metal, but water puts out fire. Okay, it's sort of, when you really get into it, you'll start to look that there's a nice strategy that you could develop here. So to be able to do water puts out the fire, and this person that's metal will be able to start showing some signs of improvement, and he is. And so we're using a lot of mochaite in this one, and moonstone rainbow for this man. And he doesn't know, he has not been in the energy world for hardly at all. So then, of course, there's the chakras. We have all the chakras for those light workers and people that want to sort of focus on one part of your system, whether it's the throat, whether it's third eye, different ones, and then the coordinated crystals that match that. All right. So anyway, we're just coming up to 9 o'clock here. I figured, but that's just a very quick idea. So we've kind of brought it down from hundreds and hundreds of crystals you can choose from. That's the first thing people ask: what do I need? And so you could say, okay, what kind of thing are you going for? So this way we put it down where you could do it like as a self-serve thing, and you can find out the kind of things you're going through and what do you need now. But realize that this isn't jewelry. This isn't something that you're going to buy and you can wear the whole thing for, 2 or 3 years. You could have it for a month or 2 months. As soon as the energy of what you want has complied and everything is good, you need to take it off and then start looking at something else. Because if you don't take it off, you'll lose it. You really will. So some people say, oh man, I spent money on that. That's right. You could have just put it to the side and then wait for maybe down the road. You might need that particular crystal again, because that sometimes happens where you'll use like amethyst for a while and then you sort of grow out of it, and then you use something else like howlite because you're looking at getting better sleep, and then down the road you might want to use the other ones again. So crystals have a very cool intelligence, and they know when to leave you, and sometimes you'll feel it and then you'll just change on your own. Any questions? We're right on 9 o'clock here, so I hope that was informative.
I think it's really handy that you broke down depending on what issue is driving you.
Yes.
Kind of it helps sort it out, because if you're not into that, understanding the different crystals, you'll
Yes,
get
yes.
lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
And it's a really good resource because as we evolve in our lives, we've got different things that come up at different times, but we don't always know where to go to access the roadmap. So you've provided that, which is great.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. That's one of the biggest questions we are coming through. He said, "I feel I need a crystal. What do I need?" And so this way, sometimes it takes a long time to figure out what a person really needs or what they want. It's always what you need is what you need to go for. I really want to be able to get a better job, but what a person needs is self love. They're not eating right. They're not doing many things that they need to do. They don't go to the food bank to give, and they know they should. They feel guilty. That happens a lot. But it's not really what's happening. That's the problem. It's that you're thinking about it. Oh, I should do this, but I don't have time, or I never get a chance to, or I should go for a walk, and they're feeling guilty. Well, that's a crystal issue because it's still relatively subtle, but the crystals can help with that. You have that either in your pocket or on your wrist, depending on what you're working with. But you choose a crystal, and from there, like we can chat for just a few minutes, and I can tell you exactly what side, if it is a side, and how you could help with that. The big ones are if a person, let's say, loses a pet dies on the weekend, and they could be literally in depression for like 6 months. And so there are crystals that can help with that big time. Especially when it's connected to a pet, then it's a different crystal. So it always depends on what you're going to. There's so many different varieties now that they're wonderful. One person saw this one purple stone I have. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's charoite. And this person says, "Oh, I really need this." And I say, "No, you don't." This charoite is it kicks your butt when it comes to spiritual growth. And if a person doesn't want that, that's not a good stone. It's beautiful stone, but it's what it does is not something that you want happening. You'll get up in the morning and you'll feel like you could put your fist through the wall because it's wanting you to move forward and you're resisting. And so you get angry. So they said, no, you don't want that. So it all depends on what a person wants. But then when a person says, "Okay, I'm ready for my spiritual awakening, what do I need?" "Okay, I got charoite for you. And it's going to be a short time. You can't have it all the time." So I wouldn't sell it as a bracelet. I'd sell it as a stone, and then you don't use it, and then you use it for 3 days. You don't use it for a few days. So it all depends on the crystal that you use. It's a very powerful way to be able to move forward. Okay, I hope this helped, guys.
Tony, thank you so much. And I'll close this with a quote for the day. Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't. Jerry Rice.
Oh, I like that. Okay, awesome.